use LangChain full and Strands also specifically or mix match, no problem. MCP server, in my understanding, you have to create a use case, and we'll talk about that. I created use case just for demonstration purpose. So I have a lot to cover. Each exercise may take around 45 minutes to hour. In case if your lab doesn't work, don't cry, don't complain. Each lab will be separate. So like example, if this doesn't work, right, don't worry about it. You continue further, right? If this works, this will be completely different. So all three labs are different. Time-wise, it might take more than 3 hours, but my goal is to make it happen. Most of the code is in our website, so we should not have any problem. The only thing you need is VS Code, OpenAI, VS Code, OpenAI, and maybe you have AWS account which you logged in. If you don't have AWS account, that should be fine, because some of the lab you can do when you have time, because you don't have to have Bedrock key and all. I'm going to walk you through so you can understand. We'll focus on OpenAI only, because once you know OpenAI, you can easily work with Bedrock. Though concept remains same, and I'll walk you through what changes you need to make. The only thing you need to make change is Bedrock and key. That's pretty much it. Rest of the code will remain same. Sounds good? Any questions before we start today's session? Right? So right now we have Manish and we have Nefertari, and oh wow, look at that. Dana is also here. Awesome. So we have 3. Our good students are here. Brian, we are missing, right? We normally get 4, right? Or 5, but we can get started. So first, why don't you all start Python on command prompt? So first start a Python. We're going to do Strands. This will be pretty loaded class. Okay. So make sure it's hands-on. Make sure you follow along. If you have a problem, immediately ask. We will be starting Python on a command prompt first. So Python as a command prompt, because in case if you want to install the library, it will be a lot easier to start. And make sure you all understand, when you are using Strands, it is unofficially told that 3.2L is the one it works. Though it says anything about 3.10 it works. I spent like 7+ hours and came to know that miserably some of the things does not work. So officially, I don't find any document it says 3.10 works, but 3.13 does not work. I have tried hundreds of times, but 3.12 worked miraculously. So in case if you have 3.13, you may want to uninstall and install 3.12. This is a an example. So I'm going to start Python, and here, and always when you start command prompt, right? Python, oops, that's not what I want. Sorry for that. Sorry, my mistake. I shouldn't be doing that. I should be doing CMD. Sorry for that. CMD, command CMD, and go command like that, CMD, and then type here Python. Make sure your version is 3.12. It doesn't matter 3.12 plus 0.6, 0.8, no problem. This one has to be 0.12. The reason I'm using consistency, because if it works for me, it should work for you. Good so far? Command prompt, everyone knows how to go through command prompt, right? We just type CMD, right? CMD, and we went to command prompt. Fair enough? Yeah. Now, second thing we need is a VS Code. So let's start a VS Code. Again, when you do VS Code, the VS Code is a GUI part, because IDE part. I like VS Code because you can easily debug and all. It's more colorful. I like that way. So we use VS Code for development. We will use this thing, command prompt, for installation. So it's kind of easy for us. Good? Everyone is good? A little bit confirmation. Irina? Irina, you're good? Everything's okay? Did you start CMD?
I started CMD, I typed Python, and now I...
Python space dash dash version. Python space dash dash version. Python space dash dash version. Press enter. Yeah. If your Python install, should work without any problem. Okay. And make sure your VS Code. VS Code is for our development purpose. So now what we're going to do here, first we'll create a folder and we'll create all our labs there. So it's easy for us to do. And this time I'm not going to do too much change in the lab. We will because every time I had to change key and all, which is too much. So what we'll do is we'll use the same key and we'll try to modify a little bit code so we can a little bit speed we'll get. Okay. So here we'll write mkdir. I'll say my agentic AI. My agentic AI. Again, mkdir will create a directory. My agentic AI. To be honest with you, this is one of the miracle. I'm sure you will enjoy that. I created some of the labs to try to make more practical flavor. And to be honest with you, I'm still thinking I can do a lot more, but there is always a limit in time. This is like LangChain and Strand API both has a wonderful flavors, and you can do tons of things. Dana, any questions? Dana, any questions? Sorry, I missed the question. Outage on my area. Okay, no problem. No problem. So now I press enter. So it created directory. It created directory, and I'm going to go inside the directory. So I'm going to go inside cd my agentic and just do tab, and it will complete that part. cd stands for change directory. So you will be going inside. Make sense? And press enter. At this moment, we are in a brand new directory and there is no class. Please understand everything I'm showing and everything I'm walking through. I hope you can follow along. But first we saw the version, then we created directory, and we are now inside the directory. At this moment, we are in this directory. Now we go to VS Code and we'll say file, we'll open the folder. So we'll say file, and we'll say open folder, file, open folder, file, open folder, and we'll go to the same location where we have. So normally I type M and figure it out, that directory. So my directory is my agentic AI, which is this one. So I'm in my folder. Basically, it's a C drive, normally users, right? And then your directory name. So my is itexps, and then I select this one. And now I'm going to say select folder. I'm kind of drawing it, so in case if you miss the class, you can later on do it. The intention is to learn. I hope you can do lab along with me, but in case if you're not able to do, you still have opportunity, and I'll create a video, YouTube video, because you can practice that, because this is going to be a game changer, because there are 3 technology together. Okay. That should bring you in. Manish, can you hear us? Manish?
Yeah, I can.
Nefertari?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Are you guys with me so far, right? I open a new folder, which is called My Agentic AI, and I'm here. If you are here, give me thumbs up so we can move forward. Awesome. Now let's jump into our Google class. From Google class, we'll jump into the PowerPoint. So if you go to our PowerPoint, in our PowerPoint, if you notice that we have 3 links, and I'm hoping you all are comfortable with the forum, but we will be jumping to this link. So if you can click on that, it will take you inside. Okay. Good. So these are all linked, one by one we'll follow along, but it is in our Wiki8 Streamlit and all. I already have this open, so here you go. Now, why Strands? So first of all, everyone likes programming. Strands motto is very simple. How do I cut the programming and maximize model? Model is nothing but LM, right? In our case, we can have open ChatGPT model, GPT-4, or Bedrock, or any model. So the most important part, Strands does support almost all popular model. So that's one important part. And tooling first. This is very important. So as a programmer, we are habitual to write our own program, but good person write to reduce the code. And in order for reduce the code, we always think about tool in the sense of, in normal programming language, we call function. Very simple. So you write a function which is reusable. And here the function will be used by the model. So the model will use function. So anytime you talk about framework, any framework, either it can be LangChain or it can be Strands, they are kind of agents framework. They create agents. And now you can say, what is agents? So agent means whatever human can do, this program will try to do that. Now, when you try to do that, whatever human can do, the basic knowledge, which is called general knowledge, you will learn from LLM, which is called LLM. LLM has almost everything, right? Example, how to prepare, let's say, some food, the recipe is there. How do I book flight? The recipe is there. LLM has almost general knowledge, but LLM does not have certain specific knowledge, which we call domain knowledge. So domain knowledge you can bring through tools. Now, I use word tools. The reason, there is no way you can do all with one tool. So example, if I want to do flight booking, that's one tool. Car booking, rental car, second tool. Or let's say example, hotel booking, third tool. So each tool should be separate. Can one tool perform all? Answer is yes, but that's not the way you want, because these are reusable. You develop the tools and very soon your company will have the tooling capability. Sometimes it can be reusable, and that's why it's very important. Now, why Strands? So first of all, Strands does give you by default many tools. So around 20 plus tools it gives by default, which are very popular. So example, if you want to make any HTTP call, any web service call, anyone who has studied web service, like web service is nothing but your program is a client, and your program is now going to make a call to a service, like example, weather service, just an example. So when your program make a call, you send request and you expect response back. Now this exercise, most people write like client API, right? They kind of use the client, create a payload, do that and all. Now this is one way to do. Now what Strands gives you, they give you HTTP request as a tool. They give you HTTP request as a tool, and most likely that's it. One liner, and it will figure it out how to make a call. So you don't write a single line of code. So some of the things are miracle. I don't understand how many times I wrote like my web service client code, and sometimes I have to create a JSON and schemas and all kind of things. So there are two ways to do. One is very simple way. The HTTP request is a tool. Anytime, like example, if I want to do web crawler, HTTP request through, I can go to any website, grab the content, or if I want to make any call to web services, HTTP request is available. If I want to do dynamic call execution, so there is a Python execution is there. So you can write a script and dynamically execute, which is very scary. Why? So example, based on the what do you call OpenAI, you can say that, right, give me a Python program. You get the Python program as a string and you can have a tool which can run. And this is very scary. Why? Because now your program dynamically find the logic, which is the Python code you're not writing. LLM will give you, so example, if I say, LLM, give me calculator function with add, multiplication, division. So it's going to give me a program, which is a string. And that string you can pass to the tool and it will execute it for you. It means zero code, you're writing English, LLM will give you code and you execute. So there is another tool called Python real-time execution. If you want to read files, there's a file tools. If you want to send message, there's a messaging tool. If you want email, there's an emailing tool. There are 20 plus tools available. But we are not ending there. Another thing is, what if the tool is not available? Then Strands gives you annotation where you can write your own tool, just writing to your tool like kind of annotation, and you can write your Python functions. And suddenly now your program can use this tool along with LLM. So you can enhance the capability of your program. Your program is leveraging power of OpenAI, but along with that, it use your capability. As soon as you start understanding this tooling capability, now your program will become richer. So first few examples will be like one or two examples just to make sure our setup is correct. And then I'm not going to cover all examples, though I have 10 plus examples. But once you understand the some first or two example, we'll do big example where I can explain the use case and you will correlate with the real life. The reason, if I try to do all examples today for Strands, I will run out of time. And I personally think once you understand one or two example, I don't think you need to go through again and again same. Why? Because each one has a flavor. I will explain some flavor, but you can easily navigate. Why? Because majority things you will understand. Sounds good? Any questions so far? So far, so good. One more thing I want to tell you, Strands has enhanced the tool. AWS team also accepted this. So AWS, any service in AWS, AWS has around 100 plus service now. They used to have, in case if you know AWS, you can call three ways, right? One through console, one through CLI, and one through SDK. So those who have used AWS SDK, you normally use a framework, Python framework called Boto3. Boto3 is one of the way you used to call, like example, if I want to call S3 service, or if I want to call some kind of EC2 or Lambda or API gateway, I used to do Boto3. Now you don't need to. Why? Because AWS has given another tooling capability. Using that tool, you just give a name and purpose, and it will figure it out. You don't need to write a single line of code, which is amazing. Trust me. I do a lot of work for my personal reason, and I used to write like hundreds of line code to do certain thing, like example, S3 is bucket exist, is bucket name is this, do I have permission, all the region and all kind of thing. I don't have to do anything. Magic. You will see when you start using it. So let's do some exercise. So once you do the exercise, you will understand. High level, the tooling component works this way. You are going to give prompt. Your prompt will go to LLM. So first it will go to LLM. So LLM say, wait a minute, is there something I can do? If I can do it, I'll give you answer, which is in our case response. Like LLM can say, I cannot do it. So it will go to tools. Do I have any tools available? If yes, let me execute it. And then now onwards, I have knowledge for this tool, and then I'll give you response. So even though this thing, right, the tool part, you can use existing tool, or you can create your own tool, or you can download from other also. This is so simple. Now, the code which you are writing may be like less than 100 lines, but the power it will get you is thousands of line code. The reason that this LLM does if-else reasoning. So those who have done programming, right? If status is this, then do this. Else do this. Or case statement, switch 1, switch 2, switch 3. You don't need to write. Amazingly, it does that. Interesting part, I'll show you something which is interesting. Please pay attention. Those who are programmer, they may understand what I'm going to explain. Let's say I have a function called add. Function called add and X and Y. So this is a 2 parameter. I have another function add. Let's say example, I have 3 parameters, X, Y, and Z. Now any programmer in the world knows when I'm calling that function, I have to pass appropriate parameter. Makes sense or no? Without parameter, it won't work. It will error out. In this section in LLM, you just say add, and you say add 3 value, 4 value, 2 value in English. It will figure it out which functions to call automatically. Unbelievable. So example, instead of add, please pay attention. Instead of add, if I say flight, please pay attention. Flight reservation, car reservation. If I write, I want to book flight, I use word flight, it will automatically call this function. And based on your text, it will figure it out, start date, end date, and pass as a parameter. Amazing. There is no mapping required. There is no need to tell this is the first parameter, this is the second parameter. It will figure it out. This is start date, this is end date, this is the first parameter, this is the end parameter. And it will figure it out when to book your car, because the start date, end date difference. So there are a lot of things LLM will help you. Without LLM, it's just a program. But with LLM, this is a very advanced program. So as you do that, you will appreciate it. Okay. Now, as I said before, this LLM, when I refer, please don't take me wrong. LLM means not only OpenAI, though for convenience reason, I'm using OpenAI because I don't have to create multiple accounts. In case if you know, like, what you call Crew AI or Huggy Face or any, like example, in this case, Llama or any LLM model, this will work exactly the same because it's compatible. I'm using OpenAI because it's one of the easy way I'm using, and we all have a key. Otherwise, you need to create multiple accounts. Concept remains same. You just need to change the model and it will work fine. So we'll show you as well. So as we go further, this is coming from IBM website. I kind of gone through some tutorial. I kind of do a lot of research just to make sure, because I want to do one time, lifetime. I don't want to come back again, because my thorough understanding is important. Every time you need two things, one, model, and two, tool. Prompt is your normal prompt. Your program is here. Whenever I use word agent, think about it's a digital worker. So don't think as a like normal program, think about as a human, how human does the work. Again, most of the example, I did a tiny example, but if you understand the concept, real life, it will work as well. Unfortunately, I cannot show too much complexity in the 3-hour class, but whenever we say agent, think about as a digital worker, and that worker, can I have more agent? Answer is absolutely. Now, please understand, agent can talk to one agent or can talk to another agent. So one agent can talk to another agent talk to another agent. This is called pattern. So just like any programming, you have pattern. This is called sequential flow. So example, if you go to mortgage, I receive the application. I receive the application. Application is good. Let me send to the next level. Agent 2. Application is good. Let me check the credit score. Next, let me credit approved, like that. So that's called sequential flow. Some are called orchestrator. Orchestration means I have teacher. Teacher can say, you know what, let me send it to English, what you call talent guy. He will check English, then math, then science, and then what they complete all the work that we call teacher assistant, in case if you know. So teacher sends their sub work or sub task to sub assistant. These are all agents. They complete the work, and then the teacher will do summary. So that is another pattern which we call delegation pattern, where one master and 3 slave. That is one way. Another pattern you can have is, let's example, you have one agent generate output, but you don't know what will be the output. So you can have decision, dynamic decision, and now you can change pattern to A2 or A3. So this is called dynamic workflow. This is very scary. As I mentioned before, you can do very complex workflow. Choice is yours, how complex you want to do. I mean, the total code will not be more than 100 lines, because all those things, dynamic and all, is magic comes from model. So whenever you are doing like which order to call, you are not hard coding. Let me repeat, you are not hard coding, call this, all this. In traditional program, we do hard code. That's why your program only work one way. But in a model program, the interesting part, which is very interesting, if I say initial one program, I'm saying A1 go to A2, A2 go to A3, but the next program can come reverse also, A3 to A2, and that's magic is happen through model, because model will decide which agent to call when. It is also possible to change dynamically A2 first, A3. That's amazing. Why? Because if you write a traditional program, you end up writing a lot of if and else conditions, or you write a workflow, a lot of configuration. Here, not single line required. All magic will happen dynamically, right? Which will make things better. And dynamic workflow, sequential workflow, there are a lot of examples. Strands gives you in their tutorial. I highly recommend that you can go through that. I'll show you also. But I use most of the tutorial what they have given, and I have customized based on kind of classroom setting. I did not cut and paste and use as is, because that's not fun. What I normally use, I use the concept and then I apply our concept on top of it. I can tell you most of the program, wherever you find, those program will not work straightforward. The most important problem is the version mismatch, because they don't give. My maximum time went is how to make this program working, right? Because they don't give you how to use model correctly, because Strands by default use Anthropic model. So they don't use OpenAI. So they don't give any instructions how to use model. And then they use certain API. So Strands had a multiple version. The first version was working 3.10. Then the one we are using is 3.12. So there is a separate API. So those are like logistics problem I had. Good news, I had figured it out. Most of my lab works with 3.12. I tested it. Any questions so far? So far, so good. So in easy language, agent is a digital worker, has a two weapon. One is a model and one is tool. Whenever you use more model, is more model for reasoning. Should I do sequential? Should I call this? Should I do this? What else I can do? Model. But then domain specific, like example, I want a Salesforce, example, SAP, example, database, example, web service, example, certain thing, domain specific, naturally will come from tool, right? So with tool and model, trust me, you can do amazing thing, and we'll see that, okay? Moving along. Some of the details you can read about it, which I think I explained very nicely. I think this is the same concept. So anytime I will do this exercise, you will understand Stream UI is nothing but like web facing. So the way most people do that, agents can be, let me just go here. So I think this will be clear. There will be deployment aspect question. Deployment aspect means, should I have agent running locally? So answer is yes, it is possible you can run locally, but that is going to work on your local machine. Can I run what you call a globally or deploy model? The answer is yes. So when you do the deploy model, how it will work? So here we are going to run from our laptop. Everything will run on our laptop, which is good for development purpose. But once you're developing this agent, you can put in EC2 and run as a service, which is called Flask or Fast API as a web service. And then when you have web service, client will call through API. So in this class, you need to know a little bit about API, which you have been using in case if you know. Any program you are using OpenAI key, which is nothing but is calling web service. And then you are getting response. So you are doing that. Whenever we say web service, we are basically sending request and we are expecting response. So your program can work as a service, as a web service, and others can communicate through request and response. Now there are tools available, like example, Postman tool. So if you have Postman tool through, you can call and test it out also. That's one way to do. My favorite thing is, if you do web service, then you deploy. Now deployment model has a couple of models. One, you have EC2 and you run service, or you wrap it as a Docker. You wrap it as a Docker and put Docker in a Kubernetes, right? Put in Docker in a Kubernetes. Now, if you put Docker in Kubernetes now, it will scale nicely. So you can have multiple Docker image, same service, but it is packaged. Rather than running one as a program, you package as a container and run as a orchestration through Kubernetes. That's one way. If you don't like that, another way you can do is use that service as a Lambda function, wrap as an API gateway, which is my favorite one. This is what normally I do, API gateway. And then anyone who calls API, by default, AWS will give you a web API proxy. An API proxy can call Lambda on fly. So first it will reduce the cost and it will scale nicely. So anytime you think about this type of service, you have to think about development first and scale second. Scale in the sense of Lambda would be, in my understanding, no-brainer, because you don't give dollar amount unless somebody calls. So if no one is calling, you're not paying anything. And API will still give you web service in flavor. So it is wonderful. All your code will work without a single line of change through Lambda, because you're not hard coding anything. Question?
That Lambda is specific to AWS?
Yes, Lambda is AWS, but if you want to do in Azure, then you do function, same concept. So you can do the function. Functions are supported in Python. We are using all things in Python, but you can use in Google also. Google has a function, and then function is nothing but scalable program, right? Which is called scalable module, which is nothing but simple. Any programming we call function, similar function you are deploying and scaling on multiple machines. Okay, now we will go through program. So before we go, these are the tools in case if you want to try it out. I like many tools, so I tried this one, I use this one, I use this one, I do this. This is very risky. I think this is the scariest thing you can have, because after using this, you can do a lot of damage. Like example, if somebody click on it, you can run something dynamically, which is called very scary, because this is called hidden JavaScript or hidden program. This is, in my understanding, you can create a dynamic rule. You can use LLM, but this is extremely powerful if you use right way, right? Sum of memory, storage. This is one of the AWS has offer. After using this, you can see that, right? You don't have to write a single line of code. You can state, like, talk to AWS, all service, hundreds of service. Those who have done Boto 3 or SDK client, you might be tired writing a lot of code. Now 0 line of code, everything will work. So this is another thing called framework, which allows you concurrence, multiple agents. So ask 3 agents to summarize the document, right? Or Bash, you can run Linux script, which is amazing, right? So now if somebody call and you want to run some program or something, you can make it happen. So these are existing tool, but if you want to create your own tool, then you use @annotation tool and it will work for you. Okay. So right now, these 2 links I added. I would highly recommend that you click one of this first link. So at least you understand where the documents are. So if you click on this link, it will take you to the Strands. Give me thumbs up if you're able to go there. Right? Yes or no? Right? This is the link, set up Python environment. Right? And then this is the link. Yeah. The first link. So when you click on first link, you will come to Strands, right? When I started this class, I will be honest, I did not have intention to teach Strands like this. I was clear about LangChain, LangFlow, but as I was writing a code, I wanted to do Bedrock, and I realized, man, there should be a better way, and I found this thing. So this is very, very latest thing. I can tell you, even AWS side also, they're adapting it. So if somebody have experience in Strands, maybe less than few months. It's very new. It's a brand new framework, and it's adapting. Like 2 weeks back, some of the examples were not that they added also. So it's going very well. So let's take first example here. If you are here, right? So far so good. So first thing we'll do is we are here. We have to install Strands agents, which we'll be installing in a few minutes. Now we can say, hey, take the agent, and this agent. So this example, please pay attention. This example will not work as is. Why? Because here it assumes that it is having Anthropic already there. So when you cut and paste, you will have the same problem. Where is the model? Right? The model is not there. So similar thing I have in my side, but let's start with the first installation thing. There are two ways people are installing. So I just want to make sure you understand. People are installing through virtual environment. This is the best way to do. But I'm right now going to install as a normal environment. Why? Because last class we have done LangChain, and I thought it was working superly easy. So I'm using like through normal environment. I'm not using through what you call virtual environment, because virtual environment, the benefit of virtual environment, you can have multiple Python version, but the problem is there are few labs doesn't work, and especially MCP lab doesn't work. I spent a lot of time, so I thought maybe having straightforward would be easy. But in case if you want to try it out, there are instructions are here as well. So right now, we'll start with one at a time. As we get error, we'll install the library. So we're going to copy this, pip install, Strands agents, and command prompt. Right click and paste. That's why I started command prompt. Please understand, if installation is working smooth, then we will have zero problem tonight. So you can see that it does internally use Boto3. Do you see that? But it hides that through Strand agents, which is nice. Should not take long time, and it will install. It takes a little time. Are you connected to the internet? Yeah, it should take. If you're if you're connected, it should work smoothly. It takes a little time because we are installing quite a large library. While it is installing, I want to cover my first program because we can make use of time. I'm going to scroll down. I'm going to skip this thing all, and this is my first agent. Please pay attention. This program is our first, because you saw that when I use the tutorial, they don't give the capability how to create LLM. So this is the LLM. Let's try to understand. We need to install a lot of libraries. So first we install Strand agents, right? Then you see, I kind of keep the notes here. What are the tools I'm using? Because as you go further, you will get a lot of errors. So we'll do that. So this is the library we'll install. Now, this is agent, and we are having a special class called OpenAI model. In their tutorial, they will not have. I specifically use OpenAI. But let's say you want to introduce Bedrock, then you need to use similar thing, model, Bedrock, and Bedrock. If you want to use a Llama, you need to do. They don't give you that detail, but you can figure it out. Now, this line is coming from this class because it's the same class. The first thing is the key. Again, this key I normally deactivate it, never copy paste, it won't work. This key is mine. I have to show you key, otherwise you won't work. This key doesn't work. I deactivate normally. So this is the key. And now here you are telling what model you're using. So example, if you're using Bedrock, and if you're using Nova, then you write Nova. In Bedrock, let's say you are using, let's say, a Titan, you write a Titan. Now here you have option, like do you want to do stream option, verbose option? There are options you can provide. Even you don't provide, fine. So technically you need one model, and second you need key, and your model is ready. Once your model is ready, you just need to tell agent, I have model. You can see in this example, agent need two things actually, model and tools, but I'm not giving tools, so this agent can only work with LLM. Make sense or no? And then that's it, I'm done. And I ask agent, give me the answer. So we'll start this program. I'm going to copy paste. Okay, the installation part will take quite a long, and we are successful so far, no problem. So if you are here in a VS Code, we're going to click on plus sign and we'll create a first program. So we're going to click on plus. So click on that and we'll say first.py and we'll paste it here. I need to change my key because my key is normally it's a very long thing. It is. This thing. Yeah. I replace the key. So once I replace the key, now I think I'm good to go. It will error out with this library. So we'll see as we get error, we'll fix it. Okay. So now I'm saving it. Program is done. We'll see if it works. Good. If not, we'll add those additional library. Okay. So let's see. I do prompt, play this thing, and it will see if it is capital for Germany, if it figure it out. If it figure it out, it means it does not need any library additional. And if it works, it means first program successfully worked. Do you see that? Pretty easy. Look at that. Give a congratulations here. Make sense? So first, you can see the program. You use the LLM, and this is going to be a boilerplate. So I'm not going to change here. I'm going to change only this type of code. Is that okay? Because I don't want to change key again and again and again and again. Model, we are only using the same model. This concept will change. Any questions so far? Did it work? Want to see? Little bit smile, little bit thumbs up. Yeah. Little smile. People on phone. I hope it works for you. Right? Good. You are entering into the world called Agentic AI. So first, I want to say congratulations that you are here. As I always tell people, observing itself, you will have a more fun because this is going to get more interesting. So please pay attention. Again, I can understand if you're not writing code right now, don't worry, but at least understand. Anytime we say agents, this is going to replace human. Why? Because it is going to use power of LLM and power of tool. And you will see in few minutes how it works. More and more complexity will increase. Yes.
Did we to change the key?
Yes, that is my key. It won't work. You need to put your key.
You can use Strands instead of LangChain also, right?
Yeah. Actually, they internally use LangChains. Look at that. It does that. They are community, open source. So again, whichever works for you. Both has an advantage. If you are using AWS, Strands would be best because they have a library called use AWS. If you are using open source completely, and you are not using AWS platform, then LangChain might be better.
That Strands is lesser code than LangChain.
Both are kind of, I would say, comparable. When you use AWS concept, this is better. But if you are using normal, I think both will be similar. Okay. I want to keep going in case if you are having not to say good. Okay. First program should work because in order to verify everything, the first program should work. You can see that we have done a model. The model we have ingested in agent, and then we ask agent prompt. This is our prompt, and this prompt agent is able to explain. Okay. Now what we are going to do, you guys use your imagination. Please understand, I will keep this thing mostly as is, so I don't have to change the key. Sometimes I'll change above part, and sometimes I'm just going to change little, so that way speed up the work. But I want to take good exercise rather than basic exercise. So this exercise you saw, we are doing only LLM. Now let's go to forum. Okay. Yeah. This exercise we are using tool. Let's skip this one. This is not that good. I'll skip this. I'll give you. Yeah. Let's do this one. This is good. You may like it. I hope that will work because I created API. I think it should be fine. Yeah. So let me explain first. Ready? Everyone is here. The lab here we are doing is AI agent for real-time stock price. Look up. Ready? So basically, in case if you do not know how it works, if you go to Yahoo nowadays, I'm not sure it's available, but Yahoo Finance, you don't have to go anywhere. Just see here the concept so you can understand how real life it works. Most of you have done some shape or form. There's a programming concept called Ajax, which is called, asynchronous call. I'll just show you so you can connect the dots what we are trying to do. So here you can see this prices. In case if you look at Monday to Friday, 8 to 4, in case if you do not know, stock markets close at 4 o'clock. So this price change. And now I would like to know, Irina, make sure you pay attention because concept is more important than lab, right? So anytime when you are Monday to Friday, 8 to 4, right? You are, if you're a stock trader, then you'll almost see that. Now, if you want to write a bot, which does automatically like, hey, if stock price is this, sell it, buy it. Most like now, trading happens through bot. Most of right now, trading. How to do that? So first you need to know the price and then you make decision, right? So question remains, how do I find the price for a particular stock? And these are called ticker. These are called ticker. And normally these tickers are registered in NYFS, which is New York Stock Exchange, NYS, SE, Stock Exchange. Same thing, Chicago has also have Chicago Merchandise Exchange. So how this works, and that's what we are going to do. We are using Yahoo library. So there is a library available, which we are going to use, which will allow me to make a call to Yahoo search model to get the stock ticker and price. That's what we are going to do. So now see on the screen. Make sure you pay attention because remember, if you are not understanding concept, you're doing lab, you're not going to use practically, right? So please understand, if you don't do lab, it's still okay. Concept is the most important thing. In order for me to interact with Yahoo, I'm using Yahoo Lab. But if I want to install Google, then definitely you need a library. Now you may say, what if there is no library? In that case, you need to write your custom code, which make a call to their web service and do that, which will increase the code. I'm trying to decrease the code. So my goal here is to find the libraries which I can use it. And good news, most of the library available because Python is very popular. So now, we are going to use Wi-Fi, right? And so where did I go? Yeah. Now you can see here, I'm also creating a class. What is class means? So technically, I'm not using specially class as a concept. Basically, think about anything I'm passing. If I'm passing more than one input, I would like to get, when I pass it, please understand, I pass it, I want to get it back also. Like example, first I'm storing, and then I want to read it. So having a class is pretty simple because if I do simple tool, then I have simple tool.name, simple tool.description, simple tool.function. So I can easily read that. Do I have to use class? Not at all. But it's just like simple, like think about envelope. You put anything in envelope, it will pass, and whoever is receiving, they will open it and read it. So anytime you use class is kind of best way to pass multiple parameters. Though you don't have to use, you can pass X, Y, Z, but having a class will be very helpful. So I use simple class. Again, you can give any name. This is for demonstration purpose. Can I write a stock tool? Yeah, absolutely. You can write anything. There is no special thing. So this is just an envelope which carry three things: name, description, and function. So for seven. So anytime somebody call, it will call the function. Basically, it does. Now, this is my tool. Please pay attention so you will understand very nicely. This is my decoration of tool. I'm decorating tool. Then I say this tool onwards, listen carefully. This tool, LLM, you will know this tool name. So this name is LLM will know, and this is your original name. Ideally, I keep saying, but in case sometimes your function name, which is this one, your function name is more technical, then you can make it English driven because this is LLM will read. This is LLM will read this is your original function. Good enough. Then this is the miracle. You have to tell what this tool is capable. Every tool have one capability. So here I'm saying get current stock price for ticker like AAP. This is Apple. Again, ticker is anything, we'll change it. So now we are going to get this, some kind of question. So example, normally if someone is looking for stock ticker, they can say provide stock price for IBM. So I'm writing in English, give me stock price for IBM. Now LLM will figure it out, IBM is a ticker. And LLM will pass only IBM here, right? So it's kind of nice. But sometimes if LLM doesn't do good job, so here I have done some kind of thing. Hey, if it's alpha, current ticker, this. So if I only give you ticker name, right, then you can say if length is less than this, then it is only ticker. We'll play around. Again, this is your own code. Basically, you are looking for a ticker. So I kind of print a ticker, so at least it knows the ticker. Once the ticker is there, I use tool to get the stock detail, right? Make sense or no? So this is what you got, and now I'm using the tool Yahoo Finance tool to get the stock ticker. So now you got this information. So whatever you got, I'm now, it's a current price. So using this, I'm asking current price, it will print current price and it will return the answer. Right now, this one is the ready-made code, which I'm not going to change, you know that. And then this is our step. Now let's see how it will work step by step. Please pay attention, okay? First, this is my agent. If I have done 2 plus 5, there is a tool available called calculator. So agent is smart. It will say model, can you do calculation? Models, are you kidding? I can't. So model will use calculator. But let's say model figure it out that this is a calculator type of question. But then I ask question, tell me what's today's date. Model say I can do myself. In that case, model will answer. But then if I say, hey, agent, give me this ticker price. So example, what is your current stock price for Apple? Now this is very interesting. As soon as you stock price, it will come to this tool. Now LLM doesn't know that which tool to call. So LLM will look this description. LLM will look for description. Look at that. That this is the tool name and this is the description. So as soon as you say stock price, it match it. It match it. Make sense? So using stock price, it match it. And then it will pick it up. So that way it knows what stock to calculate. So right now, this is stock tool and you get that. So here, there are many ways you can do. These are different ways that you can do stock price. One is this way, one is this way. Second is this annotation. Many ways you can do. So I tried different way. Right now, when I decorate tool, it is using this one. But if you want to use through like this way, you can do that. If you want to do this way, there are many ways you can do. Okay. So now let's read it one more time. We are saying, hey agent, you have one model which is OpenAI, and you have tools. So first is calculator, second is this, and third load time memory directory. Again, I'm not using it, but if I do that, it will show me all files in my directory. Make sense or no? Again, that's not our intention, but I kept it. So at this moment, we have to do step-by-step copy paste. So we're going to copy this one from here to here. We'll change the only bow part like that. Just be careful how you copy paste. So I copy this part, right? And I'm going to copy this part till my OpenAI because I don't want to change my key part. So I'm going to keep up to this. You can see on the screen how I'm doing that. So please follow along. Make sure you understand. This is what I'm going to copy. Remember, copy paste, I don't think it should take a long time, but this is my thing. I'm going to keep the model as is so I can reuse that model. I first copy the import statements. So I'm going to copy and I'm going to paste now. This is pasted. Oops, didn't come. Sorry for that. Maybe I didn't copy. Control C. Yeah, it came. I kept my model. So here it is model. So I have to use model word. So I will use model, no problem, no problem. And I will use this code. So I am using here as a word model. So I'm going to remove this part and I'm going to paste it. And please understand, this is the model. I need to, or I can use LLM, doesn't matter. I will use LLM here. And alignment is everything. So make sure you push a little bit alignment. Yeah, that looks good. Let me repeat in case if you are not very clear. First is your import statement. First is the import statement. Please understand. First is the import statement. Second is copy everything. And copy everything. There was a one extra space here. So just remove the space. So alignment issue will be removed. And then an LLM, instead of model, just do LLM because we are using LLM as a word. That's pretty much it. Good. Now, the code wise is good. We need to install the library, which we will do in few seconds. Any questions so far? Give me some kind of confirmation. Yes, no, yes, no. Good. Right. Please understand this is going to be your day-to-day activity. Import statements, add the code, right? If there is a space, additional space, remove the space. Our model name is LLM. So that's why we have to use LLM. I don't have to use model, right? And then I'm good. Now, couple of library we don't have. One library is don't have Strand tools and one is Yahoo Finance, right? So we will be installing that. So here, if you carefully notice that I do have a pip statement here. So we are going to copy one by one. So we did already this installation. So we're going to install this three one by one. Okay. So copy this and put it in a command prompt. So you paste it and press enter. That will copy that agent tools. The second, we'll let it complete that and then we'll install. Once it complete, so right now we are using agent tools that will bring calculators, that will bring AWS use and all, which is nice. One thing I noticed, like when you do ChatGPT and all, try to use ChatGPT in different machine. I found one interesting thing. Sometimes it sucks and gives you old example. So I found, like, where I use different machines, and I don't know what is it. People say, like, it take your history, but no, sometimes it's stuck. It's not giving the proper answer. So if you're having, maybe clear your browser history, maybe try different browser, different machine, it does give you proper new code, because what I'm teaching here, only you will have lucky you will get, because you will get Boto 3, which is like 2-3 years old code. Most of the code will come to 3 years old code. So you have to educate. I have to completely educate ChatGPT, replace this code with the Strands AWS tool, and then it slowly adjusts. Once it adjusts, then it will give you proper. The installation and all is kind of one time. Good news, as we make progress, we don't have to install too many things. Right now we are going through first time. And sometime model first attempt, it will not give you answer. You try one more time and it will work. So sometime it happens, the first attempt you may not get answer, but second time it works. We are so far lucky, everything is working fine. Installation is going smoothly. You guys are doing good so far? It worked? Oh, it worked already. Wow, you're faster.
To update that source,
Yeah, this one. Are you talking about this one?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the code. I copy and paste. Then I copy this code, right?
Okay.
And then when I copy, this is the LLM, and there was one space here, so I remove the space, and this LLM I added here. That's pretty much it.
Okay, so you replaced that code that was before.
Yes, and I use my key. If you are ready to change your key, then copy entire code and then make the change. There was one extra space here. Make sure you remove that space. So this is done. I have to install one by one all library. So now I'm going to install Yahoo Finance. and then I will install LangChain community. Any problem?
No, it was giving me, just give the first result, and then just trying to.
Yeah, you will have a error because that the library we are using, we all are calling, right? So they will think we are a hacker. Yeah, these are like testing. Yeah, you have to give a little time. Almost everything has the free because we are not using like a paid version. We other also have the same problem. Yeah, it looks like a hacking, but interval like 10 seconds after you try, it should work.
I did first, yeah.
But you are able to install faster than I am. I'm even wired connection. Now, last one. I think this one I already have, so I don't think I need to install, but that's fine. So I think I'm good to go now. Let's run it because technically I have all library. So right now it is giving, look at that, I got Apple. Do you guys agree? Pretty good, right? Let's change that and see if we can get the IBM, or you guys can do GE or other and see if you guys getting it. So you know we did a hard code, right? Yeah, it's kind of nice. But now this, if I'm like a little bit good programmer, I can tell you what I would do, right? So you can see I got IBM, no problem, right? So if I'm a good programmer, please pay attention how I can make this bot. So first, let's say I have some threshold. Just I'm making an algorithm, right? Let's say I have my moving window 50 days, just an example. So moving window is 50 days. In 50 days, let's say my minimum price is, let's say $50. And moving window is my maximum price, let's say $100. So I can have my program look for this historical value and first start today this thing, right? So in that, let's say today it went to 49, then it start buying, or it went 100 plus, and if you want to sell it, you can sell it at 101. This bot will continuously monitor every 10 minutes, 1 hour, whatever time frame you, and you have to write this program in a loop and have bot automatically run. So this little bit extra, maybe 10 to 12 lines of code, which can create now bot. Now you can also make bot a little bit more interesting. Rather than having one stop, create a file. The bot can read all the file, and each file will have its own minimum, maximum particular. So you can define threshold, right? You can make more interesting. Like example, if I want to buy, how many you want to buy? And bot can make transaction for you also. Now, this kind of program, if you ask me, maybe a day maximum. But this program, normally what company does, they give you $19 subscription. So think about that. The program which I were talking about, you can write in a day or two. Many people buy subscription, they pay $19 a month, and there are millions of people are using that type of program. Ask yourself a question, 1 or 2 days activity, people are paying you millions. Why? Because majority people do not know how it works, right? So they create they kind of, definitely there is a GUI associated. So those who know Angular or Node.js, there's a GUI, right? I'm telling whole architecture, right? I come here, right? I say what stock I need, right? What stock I need, what day, what minimum, maximum price, do I want to buy, what I want to sell, I configure, that's called profile. Yes or no? So everyone will configure the profile, which eventually store in database. So your program can read here, what are the profile you have? Each profile, you can create one agent. Make sense? So now this agent can scale. You can have master agent, which can delegate to one agent, and this guy's focus on this guy's profile, and buy, sell will happen. So company does this kind of scale. But you, just like you and I go and pay as a $19, we create our own profile. This is a nice UI where we enter information about what stock I want to buy, what time I want to buy, and that information will go to database, and behind the scene, all agents. There is no human aspects. Make sense? This is right now happening. I think most of this stock trading happen right now is through this way. This is called bot trading. In case if you search in Google, let's just show you example so you will understand. Bot trading. So this is like the platform. If you know what I'm talking about, go and check if there is a job opportunity and start applying. Give your use case, right? This is the way you find the right job. Of course, there is a lot of money. There are a lot of tools available, and technically speaking, is not complex. You just need to know in and out what you're doing and explain in there. Of course, you need to do a little beautification. As I said before, create profile, create threading, what like every 2 hours, 3 hours, a little bit. And you need to make sure it scales nicely. But they are developing product, means they have a team. During interview, they are not going to ask you that much thing. Of course, they will ask architecture, how you scale, Docker, Kubernetes, AWS, flavor you can apply. Make sense? People on phone, any questions? Okay. Each lab is separate. So in one lab doesn't work, don't cry. Let's keep going. So we can have other labs. So we'll go back to our forum. Now I want to show you. Let's do this one. You may like it. Irina, this is a brand new lab. Make sure you see here because you will be able to do it. If you do it straight, most important part is you understand, you will be able to do it. Because if you have installed the library, which I hope you did, in case if you don't install library, nothing will happen, right? So
Still working on it.
yeah, let it go. Let it go. Each lab is separately. So as I said before, don't panic. You can watch recording, but make sure you understand the concept. Each concept is beautiful, and I did really systematical. So this is the weather. Let's understand what it is. So in weather, this is my favorite one actually. Honestly speaking, this is a game changer. I really like this thing. Please pay attention. You may like it. In this weather, I'm not using any service. I'm using only a tool, HTTP request. Please pay attention. This is like a really interesting. This fascinated me. So this is the tool. In this tool, I am saying our LLM use this tool and call necessary thing without a single line of code. It will make a web service call. It will get you result also. The last example you saw Yahoo, we were doing a little bit call. We were doing call, like example, hey stock, get me price. We were doing code. This example, zero code. So I want you to appreciate how it works. So please pay attention. The secret is system prompt. This is the prompt. You see how complex prompt is. You are a weather assistant. Make HTTP request. Listen carefully. Make HTTP request. This is the way you are saying, write a client on fly. Then you are saying display weather forecast. You look at, so you are educating LLM to be a smart worker agent. Then you are saying national weather, you may get through here. So it's a first get the coordinate. So you are calling location service. Get the coordinate based on latitude, which I gave you. So how latitude will come based on city, it will automatically get latitude. Because you give a curly bracket, LLM knows that I need to pass latitude. Then longitude. Order also LLM will decide. You're also saying, hey, if I don't have latitude, longitude, maybe you have zip code. Pick the zip code. And then use return forecast this thing, right? And when you display the message, how the output you will display. So human readable like that. Now you may say, but how do I know that? And that's why prompt engineering is going to be highly important because you have two choices, write a code or write a prompt. This is not hard because human does that, right? I go to weather, I do enter. So whatever you do that, you are creating a recipe here. Once recipe is ready, now look at the code is pretty simple. In this code, that's all. Code is, this is the code. That's it. That's it. You are saying HTTP request, and you say prompt is coming here. And you are saying, now give me web report for Seattle. Did I give you zip code? LLM will take that. LLM say, I know how to convert zip code. LLM knows that this tool only understands zip code or latitude. So it will convert, give you, pass it, and get your result. Interesting, right? So let's do copy, and I'm going to copy everything, and then I'll change the key, whichever works for you, because I know my part very well, so I can easily replace my code. So what I will do is I'm going to paste bottom at somewhere. I'll put it like last, like this after agent, and then I'm going to create my model thingy. So LLM part, I'm going to copy this thing, right? Whichever works for you. And Control V, so that is done. And here instead of model, I'll do LLM, and then I'm done. Again, copy paste is my favorite subject, by the way. In case if you not know, 80% copy paste, 20% coding, right? Ready? Done. Entire code I copy from the forum. The only thing I change is the key, and I made it. This was LLM, so I put LLM and I use LLM. That's pretty much it. This LLM, I change the key, and that's it. And if you're good, save it and run it and give me ta. First time it may not work because it needs to be trained. Model needs to be trained with the system prompt, but give a couple of time and it will work. If model is trained, it will give consistent result. Look at that. It call HTTP request. And look at that. It's another call HTTP request. And look at that Seattle report. Oh, wow. Look at that. You got it? It automatically called 2 times. First, it can say, hey, from city, get me zip code. From zip code, latitude, longitude. And look at that, how beautiful it is, right? As I said before, the more you understand prompt, it will work smoothly. So it based on Seattle, it understood HTTP request, and it converted, and it get nice, beautiful. And I hope you know we have not hard coded anything. In case if you want to change to Detroit, feel free, and it should work. Right? I'm just making a Detroit, and I'm going to remove this thing because and you're asking question, will it rain tomorrow? Oh my God, right? Look at that. Compared to temperature in New York, Chicago this weekend, I said, let's do Detroit. You're talking like just like English. Can you do this type of program without LLM? Maybe not. But this is your automatic, which is the agents. If you want to do like a flight booking, you can consider automatically call and say, you know what, your flight is like delayed or your weather related thing. So you can also do that. But you can see. Good. Manish, like it?
Yeah.
The code, you will have lifetime access to the forum. Make sure you follow along. Trust me, majority work I have done. I have done majority work. When I was doing first time this exercise, let me repeat. First time when I was doing exercise, it took me 5 to 6 hours. Why? Because error after error after error after error. The secret was I was having a version 13. Some of the things does not work, and the library installation and all. But because everything I have done, it works like in 2 minutes, right? But that's the power of preparation. Okay, right now it's overflow error because we call multiple time. I'm gonna close it. I think we all are calling, so it's stuck. Right? Hopefully, yeah, it's coming. It's coming. Hey, it came, but that's fine. Anyway, let's go do the cool exercise. You guys ready for the cool exercise? So this is the Amazon Bedrock. I'm just gonna show you that how Bedrock works, though it's not that complex. Please see here. What's the difference between LLM? Hello, please see here. What is the difference between LLM versus Bedrock? So you first Bedrock code, and then use Bedrock. Model, whatever your model is, right? And region, right? After that, if I say hello right now, so this one, if you say any question, now this agent is using this model, and you are going to get the answer. Not that fancy, but basically I just want to show you that Bedrock works without any problem. In this exercise, the only thing you need is, I want to make sure you understand here. You do need to do this thing. You need to create IAM user in CLI. So if you are using AWS CLI, those who know AWS class, right? You do CLI, then you use configure. Yes or no? And then you configure, and then you specify what you call region, the app key and secret key. That's it. 0 line of code of AWS right now. Ideally, this doesn't work, but here it works. Why it works? Because when you write this agent is nothing but it's human. So it will say, oh, there's a CLI which is a pre-configured. So it will go to pre-configured. And from there, it uses app key and secret key. From there, it will see what you are looking. So it's a Bedrock. So it is making call to Bedrock API automatically for you. And it is using the model which you gave an answer. So now let's assume if I ask question just like that, please understand. If I ask question, show me English, show me all bucket. Show me all bucket. So now the tool, I have to use tool called use AWS. So now same concept, instead of just using greet, I can use tool AWS use, and then what will happen? It will make a call. You don't write any single line of it, make a call here. Using that, it will go to S3, get this information and get the answer. Now, in this exercise, I'm doing my own tool. This is my own tool. Make sense? So if I can create my own tool, I can add that tool. Can I add multiple tools? Answer is yes. Make sense? Are we understanding? So I think I have one more exercise. I just want to show you how S3 works. So at least you guys can, yeah, this one. So first you will configure your AWS user. Those who know AWS class, I'm hoping AWS configure its command prompt, right? Now this is your tool. Look at that, how easy it is. This is the model. It's my understanding, you all know very well. This is a tool which is coming from here, this line, Strand tool. AWS recently introduced last 3 months. So it's not very old, 3 months. You're saying which model you want to use, which region you want to do. Then you have access to AWS tool. That's all you mentioned, right? Now this is your response. And here you're saying print S3 bucket. Print S3 bucket. So now this is what you want to do that. So here service name, you say S3 and you give operation list bucket. That's it. And when you give this, the tool agent is going to use tool, use AWS. So it will do use AWS and get you response, right? I will try. You don't have to do anything. I'm going to try because I have my AWS configured. If you have AWS configured, you can try because I'm going to see if I have that configured properly. I'm going to do second.py. You don't have to try, but just for learning purpose. There is nothing special here, right? There is no special, so I'm going to just run it. I think I might need to install some library, but that should be fine. Let's run it. So if it works, I should see all my buckets. I have a lot of buckets. So error, AWS call through exception, error occurred, invalid key, because I knew my configuration part, because I'm not teaching AWS class right now. So that key might not be the valid, but if I have key properly, it should have picked up. And in that case, it should get you the answer. In case if you know how to configure the key, you do need to do AWS configure and set it up. Okay. That's not a complex part, but let's do interesting before we take a break. This is long exercise. Okay. I'm gonna do this one. Let's do the hotel one. Let's scroll down. This is interesting. I did that yesterday. Go down a little bit. Travel booking. This is the Expedia I was talking about. You are, because you have configured, right? It will work. So let's do this thing, guys. Let's do this. Is like interesting. Then we'll take a break. Ready? Scroll a little bit down. There are a few more examples, but let's go to travel booking. Right? I did this thing because I thought you will like it, because you all are kind of know Expedia. So I thought maybe how, if I'm developing Expedia agent, how I should do it. Everyone knows Expedia, right? So there is no need to explain. So here I have created many tools. Please pay attention. I have created many tools. Tool 1. So this is the framework I use. Summary, agent 1, agent 2, flight, agent 2, car, agent 2, like a hotel. So these are like different agents. And this will complete, and this will give me travel plan. Make sense? So see here, I created a tool book flight, and I randomly created a flight number. Yes or no? But in real life, you will be either calling web service using HTTP tool and getting the response, inserting database if you want to. So there is a business logic you may need to do, and then you return. Another tool, hotel booking. In that case, you will call a Hyatt and whatever it is, and you're gonna do, and you will return. So here I'm gonna give you hotel ID. Right? Same thing here, rental car. This line here, I made it simple. The response will vary based on real business. Most of the programmers should know how to call any web service or not, but you can do this way. I'm more focusing on agents. I'm not focusing on coding right now, how agenting work, right? Now, these are 3 agents. They are independent agents. Now there is a master agent. Look at that. So the master agent is summarizing. You see flight info, hotel info, and car info. These are all parameters. If you see this one, pickup time, drop off time, these are parameters. These parameters, I'm not going to hard code anywhere, but LLM will read my prompt, convert into parameter, and call appropriate tool, which is the beautiful part. Okay. So please understand, normally when you write a program, most programmer, they have like so far, whatever you studied, right? You write a function name, right? Function name, and then body, right? And the body have a parameter, and then caller is required, right? When you call, you always pass similar function name properly, and then parameter. That's what we do. Here, you are writing tool first, and you ask what tool needs, right? First, you focus on tool, what it needs, and you write the logic, right? Now, let's go into it. You all know this concept, so there is nothing to cover. We did not change anything. This is just a key. Now go here. Now, interesting part. Agent has a model. We are saying book flight, book hotel, rental, and car summaries tree. So there are 4. Order doesn't matter. So you can flip-flop the order and it will still work. Now, one thing I want you to understand, when I say book flight, there is one liner is magic, which is called description. So if I go to book flight, this one, right now I have not given description, so it automatically understands based on name because I have name matching. Okay, that's what it is. So normally you write one line description, but because names are exactly matching, it is picking up. But if your name is not matching, it will look for description because it's identical name. So now look at that. This is my prompt. I want to book a trip to Mumbai. Okay. So first, these are all together prompt. Book flight on October 10 and hotel for October 10 to 20. And rental car, did I anywhere mention which method to go, right? So this, my prompt will go to model. Model will say flight. It will pick up the flight. Model will say hotel. It will pick up the hotel. Model will say rental car. Pick up that and summarize. Pick up the summary and get you the answer, right? So let's copy entire program and then we'll run. The only thing you need to change the key, rest everything will work because there is no need to install any additional thing because this is well tested program. So I'll go to first and I'll paste it after the code and then I'll only change my key. The key part is very important. So I have key differently. So I'm going to change that key. I need to just change key. So key part is very interesting. I'll change the key part. Okay. I normally delete the key, so even though you can see my key, it won't work later on. So this is what entire program. I didn't change anything, just change the key. And now you're going to book a flight for India. You can change that. If you want to change prompt, let's say you want to go to Australia, check it out. It will work. Though concept will remain same. You can change the date and all and try it out and give me thumbs up if your flight ticket is booked. You will have random ticket, hotel and all. So when you do project, I want you to go a little bit extra mile, right? You have database, you have some web service call, make it more practical, then it is meaningful. But think about, we did a chat bot, right? Yes or no? So chat bot can take the prompt and then pass that, bot will pass that to Lambda. Lambda will call this. Lambda will be same program, whatever your program, it will do all same and you will get response. Look at that, flight is booked, pretty good. So I'm going to India, right? This is my flight number. I'm October 20th and this is my thing. Tom Patel is ready to go, right? Pretty good. Do you think this is hard? Python programming perspective, you need level 1 basic Python programming skill. Most of the LLM work is very straightforward. So that's why many times I'm thinking like, hype is because you don't know, right? Hype is means you don't know how it works, because now you know the Strands API, how it works, what you need to install. Maximum money is there, but more people will learn quickly, right? People are very smart, so they're gonna learn faster than you think. What will happen if you don't get this hard spot right now? After 6 months, maybe more people will be in market, because those who lose job, they're gonna bounce back, right? Of course, they will take time because no one will have such kind of proper recipe, right? You have recipe. Go a little extra mile, get certification, AI certification, get some project done. That's why next week you're gonna do project. More practice you do, right? Be clear with all the tools and technology you learn part of that, right? LangFlow, LangChain, Bedrock, SageMaker, Lax, Strands, and other things which we're going to cover. And combined together, these are hard key. I can give you guarantee, a person who knows right now this much is not looking job. He has a job. So those who are waiting for a job or being there for out of job X month, give yourself like a 1 month time and say, I will be agentic AI developer. Reframe yourself, right? You have cloud knowledge, your Python knowledge, Linux knowledge, database knowledge, whatever knowledge, those are a plus point. On top of that, cherry on top. Make sense? So I hope you are clear with this part. We will take a little break.